Today we're going to talk about two horse racing and breeding for horse racing books. How to breed the horse you want by using the Tesio method. The first one is by Kathleen Kirsan, called the North American Sport Horse Breeder. The other one is by Frederico Tesio, an Italian breeder who, after the Second World War, bred more than 10 Derby winners out of quite ordinary horses using his own method. And this is the one that we keep following today, with a couple of permutations here and there. It's all very interesting. If you're interested in genetics, one of the things he did discover during his experimental period is that if you have a sire, phenomenal athlete, by the third generation, that prowess will be gone. Unless you bring in a close relative who's female. You have to have the sire transmits to the son, to the grandson, but that's just the Y chromosome. In order to get the full prowess, you have to have the X that came with it from the mother. So you need a sister or a close cousin. And then you breed another 3 generations, stick another lady in there. You see what your horse lacks, you pair it with the other horse who fulfills the need. It all makes perfect sense, but you do have to pay attention. Can't inbreed too much, because you all know what happens when you inbreed too much. So you do inbreeding, line breeding, crossbreeding. Now for a sport horse, you can crossbreed. But if you want a thoroughbred fit for the Derby, you're going to have to stick with the thoroughbreds. Now, you'll recall American Pharaoh, the latest of the Triple Crown winners, mentions Man-O-War in his pedigree all the way back 24 times. And if you remember, Nearco was also a phenomenal sire. He had been bred by Federico Tesio in Italy. So you can't be sneering at the man now. The man knew what he was doing. Now, when it comes to writing the book, it's a bit of a different story. He tends to have a very romantic kind of thing. Not lovey-dovey kind of romance. That's not romance. I mean romance in the classical sense. Talking about the energy level and the spirit, and we call it the look of eagles over here. But he likes to talk in those terms. And some of it's utter rubbish. So, he's playing with genetics on one hand and messing around with romantic sort of Italianate theories on the other. It's like having a foot in 2 worlds. But still, distilled down, it makes sense. But it's a rudimentary work at best. Now, Kathleen Kirsan's book is highly repetitious, and she doesn't make herself perfectly clear at times, but she gives you a lot of examples. She gives you a lot of help along the way deciphering a pedigree. Who bred whom, and what did they bring, and so on. And you can wrestle with them quite well after you've gotten through it. But it is a monster book. Not very expensive, but it's a monstrous book. It has a couple of typos in it. These things happen. But still, if you're interested in how genetics in equines works, and you're interested in learning how to read a pedigree and how to possibly pair your mare with a stallion and vice versa and so on, there you go. How can you build up your broodmare herd to become a successful breeder? The same principles apply whether you're doing sport horses, cutting horses, or steeplechasers, this race horses. It's the same. The same principles apply. So, if that's a subject that interests you, there are 2 books. I would recommend Kathleen Kirsan, who also has an extensive bibliography in the back that you may want to make use of. But Tesio, if you're in the mood for it, it's all right. You might actually enjoy it a little more. You might not learn very much, but you'll enjoy it. In any case, thank you for coming, and please do come again.